again, my caution as a candidate that just got done running and pretty much getting my butt kicked. And not only did I get my butt kicked, what's disheartening is when I talk to people and the number of individuals who just don't know. They really just don't know. They don't know, when you look at the ballot back in the primaries where you had, 15 people running for judges, the ballot is super long. The committee person seat was at the very bottom. And we talked about this a week or so ago. It's very hard to keep the voters' attention span. Now, your ballot is going to be a lot less confusion because there's a lot less, everybody's been primary, right? But, it just blows my mind, the number of people who just, first thing, they don't know, they didn't know they lived in Bloom. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, it just seems like there was just no interest. I don't think enough people know what the committee person does. And the ones that came out to vote came out there deliberetely. It was like they knew why they were there. They were there because somebody told them, okay, go here and punch these tickets or whatever. How are you going to maintain that?
Well, I hope everybody that I've talked to remembers my name, for one, because it's like I tell people, or I've been telling people, it's a long ways away. It's only 113 days, but and that's election day. I think it's like 80 days until early voting starts. There's literally less than 100 days until early voting. So please remember my name. And most people tell me they're going to put that my little piece of literature on their fridge, or they say, don't worry, I won't forget you. But I hope I can get enough people to work the polls.
Oh. And that's going to be your Achilles heel. You got to get enough people at the polling precincts, because even as good as you are, all of this stuff seems to be that last minute somebody gets out in front of that polling place and they're talking as much as you, or they're talking as much as they're talking about themselves and why, voters I just don't have any confidence. Okay. They don't really know who they're voting for. And a lot of times I feel like they just go through the motions and they just vote. And that's the issue. They just vote. They don't know why they're voting. They don't know, a lot of times know who they're voting for, and so on and so forth. In any event, I'm going to move just a little bit along. Jason, thank you for joining Tea and Conversation. We have, even though it's my birthday, Michelle, I'm not going to make this meeting all about me, because it isn't all about me. Of course, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing that flat property tax is a better tax t-shirt, because this week we are doing the flat tax show on Wednesday, which is our third meeting of the month. It's the third Wednesday of the month, not the third meeting of the month. Tomorrow we also have a loaded agenda again in the Village of Glenwood. This particular agenda is very interesting, and I can talk about it because I can talk about it. It's on the agenda, and essentially, I don't know if you've watched it, but essentially, I'm going to try to paraphrase. The fire department has said that they want us to declare a state of emergency, and they're saying we don't want to go through the commissioners any longer. We want to just be able to hire firefighters. We don't need the background checks. We don't need any of those things. We just want to hire them. Now, I don't know how that makes you feel, but these commissioners and these individuals that generally they kind of screen the qualifications, make certain that individuals are qualified to be firefighters, right? They make sure that they have physical, to make sure that their background is squeaky clean, because in your most vulnerable state, you do not want somebody going through your pockets. Not that happens, right, Jason? Nobody would go through your pockets while you're laying on your back in a car accident. But you generally have a screening process. But Glenwood now wants to say that it's been a state of emergency, and we don't need individuals looking over those people that are going to be put in those places. We want to just go straight to the board and let the board decide if we want to hire this candidate, even though we don't have the expertise, or most of us don't have the experience to hire a firefighter or what have you, a paramedic, firefighter.
How many are you short?
Well, right now it looks to me that we're short 3. We only really have 4 full-time firefighters. Technically, it's 3. We only really should have 4 full-time firefighters, but we have an enormous pool of part-time firefighters. What happens in Glenwood is many of the people join the fire department, they get that training, and then guess what they do? They leave, right? They go to places where they get a lot. It's more exciting. They go to places where they feel like they have some growth. I know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're having a hard time finding firefighters. It's not really. We're not really having a hard time. We hire them, and there's a process. The problem is when they get the certification, they tend to leave. They go to greener pastures, and not only is that an issue, but they also look at the growth potential. So if you're in a fire department such as ours, where you only really have 4 full-time firefighters, 3 full-time firefighters, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to say, I mean, if this is your career, I'm going to stick around here and I'm going to one day what? Be the chief? No, the chief is the chief. His son is the deputy chief. So how are there's no growth potential, which I think is really what's making it more difficult than anything for anybody to want to just come and stay, because there's no growth potential. Michelle, did you get a chance to take a look at the agenda yet?
I looked at it. I didn't see the firefighter stuff, but I wasn't looking for it either. But I do have a question about that. My question is, the agency that they're trying to circumvent, what is that agency?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Say that again. I'm sorry.
The agency that the fire department is trying to circumvent, what is that agency?
Well, it's not an agency. It's the commissioners, right? It's the So we have a firefighters and police committee that normally vets. They normally vet, and they normally go through the applicants that are going to be full-time, right?
So this is a committee that is exclusive to Glenwood?
Yes. So it's not governed.
It shouldn't, then it's not like it's a lot of bureaucracy or anything that they have to wait in line.
No. So it's not a lot of bureaucracy, but they're like the oversight, right? They're the ones who make certain that, that like, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, there was a firefighter who died. He had a heart attack while on duty, right? So you are carrying an enormous amount of weight. You are responsible for trying to get individuals out of the fire, yada, yada, yada. Do you feel like a firefighter should be in tip-top shape? I'm gonna leave it there. Do you think a firefighter should be in shape?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So you should be able to. The committee, or the commissioners on this firefighter pension board, firefighter police board, all they do is kind of manage the full-time. They don't do part-time, but full-time firefighters. They make sure that they're certified by the state. They make certain that they passed all their physicals. It's a checks and balance that's governed outside of us, right? But before a firefighter comes to the board, right, or gets certified to come, there's a whole list of things that they need to qualify for before they're sworn in. What this ordinance is saying is, hey, it's a state of emergency. We need new firefighters right now, right? Which I don't agree. I don't think that it's a state of emergency. We've been operating this much time, and with the people that we have all of this time. And then I don't really think that there's going to be any new firefighters on hand. They're going to be the regular. They're going to just be taking some part-time firefighters that are already there. So there's no infusion of new people. It's just the ones that. Here's the deal. It's firefighters, in my humble opinion, that can't get certified, that are going to be forced into the full-time position. It's to bypass the red tape because they can't pass the test. That's what I think. Okay, I'm trying to sit here and sugarcoat it, Michelle, but there ain't no sugarcoating this. It's another smoking mirror. They're trying to get uncertified firefighters that can't pass the test into the firefighters pension board. That's it. Okay, and we could slice this tomato all kinds of ways. It's still a tomato. Okay, It's still a tomato. Yeah. Before we get too deep into that, welcome to Tea and Conversation. Again, I'm wearing the flat property tax shirt because this Wednesday we are going to be doing the flat property tax. It is my birthday. Yes, I can cry if I want to, but I'm not going to cry today because I have no reason to. It's a beautiful, sunny, hot day. Finally, this July has brought us good weather. And it had to be on the 18th, right, Jason? It had to be on my day because the summer should be feeling like the summer. I don't know what this cold weather is, but in any event, going back to, yeah, it was been a little chilly.
When was it cold?
Yesterday. It was cold yesterday. It was cold the day before yesterday. I wanted hot as Halls, okay, in the summer months. Hopefully you got my pun, but it should be hot as Halls during the summer months.
I hear Phoenix, Arizona is beautiful this time of year for you then.
No. I want to be right here. I want all my seasons, Jason. Don't try to send me in Phoenix. By the time I get to Phoenix, it'll be a whole nother story. You heard the song. But in any event, I'm glad it's hot. It is my birthday. I am talking about the agenda tomorrow. If you didn't know, we also hired a finance director. If you didn't know, we did hire a finance director last week. I did not know that we were hiring a finance director. I did not know because I did not have any information about somebody coming in to get hired. And here's my critique, okay? And I'm praying that this person is just as good as it's good. I want this person to be, and this is not about the person. I'm more concerned with the process. Candidates that are considered for these particular positions, we get the resumes the day of, and then we take actions. There's no vetting. There's no, I mean, how do you even prepare yourself for questions when you don't even know that you're going to be hiring? You know what I mean? You normally should have some sort of information. You should have some sort of background about this particular person. Even if the HR person did some sort of briefing about the person, it's very difficult for any, in my humble opinion, okay, and I'm a board member, to really make an educated, take an educated position. And then when I hear stupid, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna call them stupid.
Silly.
When I hear silly questions saying, during the interview time, we just wanted to know if she could deal with the different personalities on the board. What the heck? What does that have to do with doing finances? Did you question to find out if she could do TIFs? How about ledger balances? Those are the things that we need to do. Dealing with personalities on the board should not necessarily be the qualifier.
Was that your personality that was in question?
You know what? Listen, I don't want to be that person that always thinks that it's a rock being thrown at me, but it sometimes feels like it. But that is not an interview question for a finance director, in my humble opinion. We need to make certain that a finance director understands what the role of the finance director. Did we have, we got an accounting firm right now. Did that accounting firm, what was their opinion of this person coming in? Since we have a consultant that we hired, we have consultants that we hired that are doing the books. Why didn't we get their opinion or have them sit in or ask questions about this person's qualification, especially since this person says she works with this particular organization that's doing our finances? Michelle, is this why I got gray hair?
I'm not sure, Adam.
And Jason, here's the thing. I'm saying all this to you. Don't think that you're just on right here and you're just an audience member. You're about to be on the board, Jason. And all of the things that I'm telling you and teaching you, hopefully you're learning from me. These are things that happen all day, every day, in many, 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 many places. Okay. And when you, I'm just going to say it, Jason. Can I take my hat off, Jason?
Sure.
If you win this, I'm taking it off. If you win this seat, you will be an outsider essentially, right? Because you will be a person that actually broke through the barriers of the machine. But the machine is still going to be all around you, right? How do you see yourself? Because it's not only dealing with the political landscape that you're currently in Cook County right now. especially in the 5th district. But then you're on the board. Let's look at that for a second. Because all of the things that I'm talking about, it may sound like I'm talking in riddles or talking in circles. These are all the things that you too, Jason, are going to experience if you are fortunate enough to be that next a commissioner for the 5th district. You are essentially going to be the pariah because you would have beat the machine, right? So they're naturally going to be just, hi, Jason. Yeah, we don't box him out. Make his life a living hell because we didn't want him anyway, right? How do you see yourself making inroads?
Well, I mean, others may disagree. It all depends on who you ask on what kind of person I am. But from I can work with anybody. You know,
so can I, Jason. So can I.
Right, but at the same time, you make things happen, and you have a voice, and you are part of the marketplace of ideas. You have peers. It's not like you're just a resident in Glenwood and you want to talk about this finance director. You want to talk about these firemen being hired. You see people, you know, bring conversations like that up all the time, but you're in it, right? You're in it. So you have the authority and you have a voice on that board. Whether they want to listen to you or not, you go on record in stating your opinion and what you think about it. And when it goes south or they hire one of you, say, I don't think we should hire firefighters without the vetting process, right?
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely ridiculous thing. But I guess my question to you is,
here, follow me though. So say they hire a firefighter and curve around that oversight, and then something happens. I know you're not the type of person to, I told you so.
No.
But people, there's a silent majority that watch and pay attention, and they will know. Adam Winston called it. You don't have to say I told you so because they know you told them so.
Yeah, but you know, so and thank you, Jason, for that. But I appreciate you know, I do. I appreciate your opinions, and my concern still is anytime I don't own the patent of ideas. You win, Jason, you're going to be the same just like me. You're going to be this person who's, you know, you're going to be in the know, and you're going to be this person that you're going to have to find ways, and it has nothing to do with your personality, for instance, okay? And so I went to the Chug-a-Lug pub up on in the hub. Okay, I'll stop. I went to Chug-a-Lubs up on Halstead, okay? And it was dignitary day or whatever. If you're an elected official or an employee in the village of Glenwood, it was like an open house where you could come in there and you could, you know, drink, see the place, throw the axes because it has bowling. Nice facility, so I hope you get a chance to stop there. They open on Friday. But as I made my rounds around there, and of course, I try to speak to everybody because even though I may not be a fan, I just feel like it's the polite thing to do. And I speak to everyone, right? So while I was in there, an individual pulled me to the side, and I'm not going to mention the individual's name, but they said, hey, I'm not really talking to you. And here's why. You're a backstabbing son of a.
You?
Yeah. So I was,
Adam.
Listen, I was
Who'd you backstab?
That's what I was trying to figure out because I'm normally a front stabber. I don't really go from the back. You'll see it coming, okay? But my thoughts were like, okay, and I'm going to be honest with you. I had on a raincoat and it wasn't raining that day. But her calling me a backstabber just kind of rolled off of me because that's not me. I don't know who you're talking about. But she proceeded to tell me why she said I was a backstabber, and she went back. She went back during the election where I got removed from the ballot. I got kicked off of the ballot because of someone backstabbing me, okay, and had me removed off of the ballot over a technicality. Did I owe the fine? Yes, I owed the fine. However, I still think that when you have a person who considers themselves, or you guys have been working together for years, right? And they're your friend, I guess, quote unquote, your friend, them to try to use this or hold this card in the back of their pocket so that they can use it to try to to try to remove you to give themselves a better chance at winning. Although the game is cold, but it's fair, I look at that as backstabbing more so than anything. You were supposed to be a friend. Well, you owed the fine. This is what the person said. Fine, I owed the fine. If you don't see that as backstab, what have you? But then this person goes in to say, well, a person made an accusation and they were at your house when they made this accusation. I guess they were Raggedy Ann sitting in the back here and make this thing. I'm like, huh? Where do you get this from? They have made up or manufactured a story on how I backstab them, saying that some lady was at my house while I did my podcast, and they were calling out her husband. And I'm thinking to myself, that never happened. There's no such thing. What are we talking about? I don't even know.
You don't have in studio guests, Adam?
Only Raggedy Ann, okay? Only Raggedy. And people say she's creepy, but if you grew up in the 70s, you appreciate Raggedy Ann, right? I'm looking for Andy if anybody has one. But my point is, Mr. Decker, is that people are, and you're going to find this out, that people will have a misperception of you. I don't care. You say you're a nice guy. It doesn't matter, right, that you're a nice guy. It doesn't matter that your door's open and that you, just like I told this person, I don't lie about anything. If you ask me something, I'm going to tell you the truth. You may not like my answer, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you the truth because I'm not getting spankings anymore. I'm a grown man. I can tell you the truth, and I can live with those particular consequences that may come from telling the truth. I'm not a liar, okay? So any question that you're going to ask, you can ask. But for them to have a flawed perception that I backstabbed anybody during an election, when I didn't even tell this past election that I lost, rather. I didn't lose, but I lost. I didn't lose. I'm saying that because I did what I was supposed to do. The voters, unfortunately, were deceived, and you got a candidate that only lived in the town for 2 months.
You had like 14% turnout, though.
14%, whatever. She won. She's the winner. Congratulations. You won a non-paid job, another non-paid job. And then you won the the commissioner seat. Fine. And I don't really think that she won.
She did not win the commissioner seat.
Well, I'm sorry. She won the primaries.
A lot of people think she did win that seat.
And that's where you got to correct them. Thank you very much, because you're absolutely right. She did not win the commissioner seat. She still has a race to run. But a lot of people will say, okay, but she's running with the machine, she's going to probably win this particular race. Your job, Jason, is to try to stop that train. That's your job. Okay. So
my job is to win.
Huh?
My job is I'm not worried about stopping anybody's train. I'm not worried about, even discussions that have been had regarding my opponent. I don't really care. I just,
you're right. It doesn't matter.
Hello, I'm Jason. I'm running for Cook County Commissioner. How are you doing? Would you want to talk to me for a couple minutes here?
Right. And that's all that matters. My point for referring to her train is not, and because somebody's going to listen, they're going to take it out of context. I'm not saying she's a train wreck. I'm just saying that people voted for this particular thing because I don't really think either they don't get it, they didn't care to get it. I don't know what it is. I don't even really, I did what I was supposed to do. Let me just say that. I did what I was supposed to do. I tried to keep people informed. But even during that run, Jason, I didn't go around, even though on my show I did say that she was a carpetbagger, which is not a bad word. People need to stop that. Carpetbagger is in your Webster dictionary. It's not, I didn't make the word up. It's not a negative word. It is a word that refers to anyone that moves into town solely with the intent to run for office. That is a legitimate word. That's the action that she did. I didn't make the word up. So people can get their t-shirts. I'm not gonna say the other thing. They can get their t-shirts in a bunch. But the reality is, carpetbagger is the action that a person takes when they move into a community solely to run for office.
Isn't Flossmoor still part of Bloom Township though?
No, only part of Flossmoor is. The part that this individual lived in was Rich Township.
What's the other part of Flossmoor then? Thornton?
Bloom Township.
Right, but what's the other part of Flossmoor?
Rich Township.
Oh, Rich. Okay.
Right. So Bloom only goes to Western.
Okay.
Anything after Western is Rich Township. She lived over there by the Flossmoor Grill and Brew, or whatever you call that place. Flossmoor Station. Yes. That is past Western. That is Rich Township. That's what it is. Okay. It is what it is. So she moved into Bloom over in Beacon Hill, who people don't move to Chicago Heights. They move from Chicago Heights. I'm sorry if you are out there, but generally that's just the case. Most people move from Chicago Heights, not to Chicago Heights, from Flossmoor. Okay. But my point for saying all of that is, even though my opponent, I felt that her actions were a carpetbagger action, I didn't post that and platter it all over the place, because that's not my I don't operate that way. I may come on my own personal podcast. I have a right to and say what I want to say, right? But I didn't do a mailer to say that this person is a carpetbagger, and I didn't do that. I ran my race, and I hope that people figured it out on their own. So when I hear this individual says that I backstabbed them, when I never did at all, I never backstabbed them. Okay, I have no reason to mislead anybody on that sense. To say that the person was at my house accusing him of coming to her job, I never invited anyone to my house to say any of that. I don't even know where that nonsense is coming from. But my point for telling you all of this, Jason, don't think that I'm just rambling, is that even if you're a nice guy, there are still going to be individuals that are going to see you as a low down, dirty, horrible, backstabbing, pain, a PETA. I'm going to call it PETA. You know what a PETA is, right, Jason? I can't hear you. Your mic is off.
I muted because I got kids running around.
Oh, that's okay. Do you know what a PETA is?
Oh, yeah, I know what a PETA is. But my question was that you didn't hear me. What are you going to do about it? What
am I going to do about it?
Yeah. No, not you specifically, but I mean, like when people talk. Like I have people that have me blocked on Facebook, but are telling some pretty elaborate stories about me. And then not that I want to engage in circle talk or drama, but when you need to silence the other person and then run your mouth, I just laugh. I'm actually flattered that I take up time out of their day that they need to go on Facebook and tell these big elaborate lies that most people know are just a fantasy fairy tale. And it's amusing. It's entertainment to me. I can laugh. Now, when you bring my kids into it, like about a year and a half ago, I had somebody that was, involving my kids in some of this trash talking. I actually took a step back and my wife jumped in and kind of let him have it. And then she was told, that, oh, you're a woman, you should mind your place. To which she responded appropriately to that as well. But I mean, that's politics. That's life. I mean,
yeah, it is.
There's no friends in politics, Adam. You got no friends in politics.
And that's what I would caution anybody that runs for office. If you are sensitive, you should not run for office, because the reality is people are, Jason, if me and Michelle start talking and then you walked in the room and then all of a sudden we got quiet, you would assume that we were possibly talking about you. When you're running for office and you see those type of actions, you automatically assume everybody's trying to get you, when the reality is it ain't me. So some of these people they lack the maturity to run for office, because if you are going to be in your feelings, if you're going to always feel like you're being attacked, which you may be, like, listen, I don't think that there's nobody in this town that has experienced the level of attacks that I have. I've been called a deadbeat because I paid child support. You know what?
I thought deadbeats don't pay child support.
Thank you. But your competitor, I was standing out in front of Prairie State, and she had the nerve during early voting. She had the nerve to even bring that up, like, well, You pay child support. What are you talking about? Like, why are you so then when I addressed it, when I addressed it and said, what are you talking about? Then another girl, one of her friends, oh my God, he's abusive to women. You can't make this crap up, okay? The reality
I was supporting my mayor in 2021 when he was running, and man, you talk about people coming out of the woodwork, fake profiles, all kind of. I was smoking crack with the mayor, plotting on how we're going to ruin the town.
You have got to have tough skin. And the only reason why I'm bringing that up, Jason, is because you said that as I'm a nice guy and I can get along with everyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a nice guy, because there are some evil ass people out there. If you're just joining, welcome to TN Conversation with Trustee Adam Winston. We are having our Monday TN conversation. As
always, I've been willing to work with anyone. You want to, I mean, I still have people today that just they don't even want to have a conversation with me. Not about my campaign, not about anything specific, but just like, hey, we're going to go clean up some garbage. You want to come out and join us? Nope.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things, and Miss Dawkins, are you able to talk, Miss Dawkins? Miss Dawkins. And the reason why I'm asking her,
yeah,
Miss Dawkins, if you don't, I know that you're very, very busy, but one of the things that I wanted to possibly hear from you, your perspective, is because I know that you've sat on boards. When you are sitting on a board, and I don't know if you've ever experienced that, and you are one voice, right? You're doing the best you can, and people still criticize and find problems with it. How do you handle it? Maybe this will help Mr. Decker and other people. How do you deal with difficult people that, in spite of all of your efforts, right? In spite of all of you trying to be honest and have integrity and being truthful, in spite of all of that, they still see you as a piece of crap.
I think you just have to go back to why you're doing whatever it is you're doing. And ultimately, you have to look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and, answer to, whatever reason you are where you are.
Yes.
And people are going to have criticism about, regardless of what your actions are. They're going to find reason to fault whatever you're doing. And you have to do what you think is right and what you think is the best thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's really all you can do, is to be true to yourself, be true to whatever your calling is, and whatever reason why you're doing whatever it is you're doing.
So and thank you, Miss Dawkins. I had a young man who called me, and he was like, Adam, if I was on that board, and Jason, again, you need to pay attention to this. If I was on this board and the mayor didn't answer my request to get an item on the agenda, I would just quit. And I was like, well, that's not the answer, right? Like, then the mayor wins, right? Why would I walk off? Why would I quit, right? In fact, I think that you dig in. I'm not a quitter. And the reality is, I know who the mayor is in my town, right? And I don't expect anything from him at all. And I don't waste my breath asking him SHIE, okay? I don't ask him nothing. When I see him, hey, Mayor. I move on. I don't waste any more effort with him, because I know that he's going to tell me whatever he thinks I want to hear. He's going to lie. He's not going to get back. He doesn't follow up. So why do I waste my time? And my hope is that the rest of the board, who claims that they love the village of Glenwood, would start getting off their butts and showing it. And you show it by doing things that don't do them to spite me, because you're not spiting me. When you drive the town into the garbage or into a well, it ain't to harm me, right? It doesn't hurt me only. I'm not the only one that lives here, right? Okay? I'm not the only one that lives here. It affects you too. So when you allow the decommissioning of the fire and pension commissioners, right? So that you can jam firefighters through with no checks and balance in place, where you get a management letter that says the finance director was a horrible individual, but then you rehire him. And not one board member asks, why is this person back, when the management letter from the accounting firm says that many of the issues that we have are directly related to this particular person's actions? This is not the kind of behavior of a board that really wants to make certain that our community is solvent and that we have a community that we're proud of. It's the leadership, Jason. It's always been the leadership. If your town's going to hell in a handbasket, if the Cook County Commissioner, when you become a Cook County Commissioner and this stuff is going to hell in a handbasket, it's you. It's your fault. It's my fault, right? It's our fault because we're the leadership, even though I may not necessarily be able to change it. I get on these shows, I invite people to them. I'll have more guests coming. I know one person says, well, Adam, where's all those politicians that come? They'll come. I'm not worried about, I haven't invited anybody because I've really been out. I just got done from, I just got done doing baseball and running for office, and now I'm buying a house. I don't really want to be obligated to having a person come. I hope and I look forward to them coming. Some of them did reach out to me. They'll be here, right? But I don't do this show just for individuals that are running for office to get on here. I welcome them because I think that the public needs to know those individuals that are running for office. And I do think that I have the right to ask these particular questions. If you're just joining, welcome to Tea and Conversation with Trustee Adam Winston. It is not, I'm going to answer this question that I'm getting. It is not defamation of character. I'm not defaming anyone's character. I'm talking about a management letter that we received. That individual no longer works, well, didn't work here, okay? That person retired, okay? But then after they retired, after we received this management letter, okay, we bring them back. That isn't defamation of character. That is a fact. What trumps defamation of characters? If I was looking at Greg Mathis, one of my favorite people in the world, the truth trumps defamation of character. In any event, if you're just joining, welcome to Tea and Conversation with Trustee Adam Winston. I want to know, Jason, you're going to be in the lion's den if you win. How about that? How interesting is that? You're going to be in the lion's den when you win. How do you think you're going to be able to manage when all of your peers or your coworkers or the people around you don't want you there and are going to try to block every initiative you try to make? How are you going to do that, Jason?
They'll be on record doing so. We have one of the most blighted districts in the whole county. All right, I've said it 100 times. We have 9 of the worst 25 places to live in the state in our district. And how long has it been this way? So when I go and say we need this and we need that, and this is how I want to do it, and this is how I'm going to pay for it, and they're going to go on record to say no. They're going to have to go on record. See, now these conversations are had off the record, maybe behind committee doors or whatever. But for whatever reason, our district is neglected. Our district, the 5th district of Cook County, has been neglected for too long. We've been overlooked and bypassed, and it needs to stop. It needs to change. So who's gonna stand up and say something? Who's gonna demand that we get some sort of attention out here? We need help. There's people literally dying and crying for help, and the county board is either gonna help the 5th district or they're gonna go on record to say no, and that's up to them.
You're absolutely right. And
All I can do is do what I can. I mean, I'm doing my best is what I do what I can with what I got, my own two hands, my own 2 feet, my truck, and the little bit of piddly stuff that I've been doing, boarding up the houses, cleaning up garbage, it helps, but I plan on doing a lot more with the resources that we deserve in the 5th district.
The fifth district has been underserved for
Neglected. I like the term neglected.
Neglected for how many years? And for how many years did we go back each time and revote for the same individual? And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just, and I know that right now I may be a little salty. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I'm a little salty because things didn't go my way, and it's my birthday, and I can cry if I want to. Okay. I don't expect anything to change until the people wake up more, because woke people are still asleep. Because if you don't know who you're voting for, then why are you voting for them? If you still going to the polls and you just checking boxes because somebody told you to, okay, it's an insult to the process. And are we better? So here's the proverbial question, okay? And we've been having this campaign for the longest, Mr. Decker, where we telling people, do your civic duty, where's my flag? Do your civic duty, get out there and vote. Is that better? Is it doing your civic duty if you're just going to blindly just go there and vote? Is that really what you did it, but never mind that you checked the wrong damn boxes.
Well,
I would rather you not vote.
We've been forced to pick between the lesser of two evils for how long?
But now it's not a lesser of two evils. I see people going to the polls and they don't even have a clue on who they're supposed to be voting for or should vote for.
Because a lot of people, I mean, you only see an R and a D, and most people cannot vote for an R. I mean, there's swing voters, right? I mean, there's people that literally look at a candidate, but especially in our area here, Republicans usually don't even run. So we're used to having our winner be decided by a primary. That's no longer going to happen. And as somebody told me the other day, because I used that phrase, the lesser of two evils will be no more. And they said, well, great. So now we get to pick the lesser of three evils. And I said, well, I'd still rather have 3 choices than 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I it's got to be more than just the lesser of two evils. I would hope that people go to the polls and they start being a little bit more mindful about. Look at the candidates. Let's do that. How about that? How about just get a sample ballot on your own? Go to the state board of. Are we better off that way? Are we better off, Michelle? What do you think? Are we better off if we just went to the state board of election and we just got our own sample ballot from the state board of election by punching in our number? Are we better off doing that than to receive a card from some person standing out in front of a polling place?
Of course, you're going to be better off if you do your own research.
Yeah. And my thoughts are like, how much time does it really take for you to really go on the state board of election, put your address in to get a ballot that mirrors? Actually, I think that everybody should do that, right? Because if you go to the state board of election, and I know a lot of people at this primaries, when they went to go vote, their polling place had changed. Barbara, did your polling place change, right? Some of these folks went to the polling place that changed, which frustrated them, which made a lot of people just got fed up with the process because now they didn't know that their polling place had changed. So if we went to the state board of elections prior to going to vote and not just vote and take any sample card from somebody standing out in front, and don't get me wrong, you mentioned something, Jason, at the beginning of the show that that you need volunteers for the day of election. You do. because there are going to be people standing at the polls passing out cards, and folks don't know who to vote for. Are we better off by just going to your state board of election and picking out a card? Mr. Campbell, what do you think? Mr. Campbell, are you there? Mr. Campbell, are you asleep? Are you still there? Mr. Campbell must be asleep right now. He's on the phone. He's on the line, but I don't. There's no activity. But that's my thoughts. What do you think, Mr. Decker? Do you think folks are better off just going to the State Board of Elections and putting in their own address to find out where their polling places are and they should be voting for?
I would love that. I mean, voting is one of the few things we have left, that we can actually do without having to pay for it or get a license for it or be taxed on it. We can go vote. We can decide who's going to play with our money for the next 4 years and make decisions that affect our lives and the lives of our children. So yeah, I wish everybody would look into the candidates. I wish everybody would know their polling place. I had a bunch of people text me on primary night saying that they were sorry they didn't see my name on the ballot. They didn't understand, even though I told them, if you want to vote for me in the primary, which is unnecessary, and I know that most people fall Republican or Democrat, or some pretty heated races in the primary. But if you feel obligated and want to help me out and go pull a libertarian ticket, then go do so. And then they still text me and said, hey, I'm sorry I didn't vote for you because I didn't see your name. And I said, did you pull a libertarian ticket? They said no. I had another woman. Her polling place used to be Ray Day Lodge in Midlothian, and since Ray Day Lodge is now closed, they moved her to Robbins, and I had to help her find that out because she messaged me. She said, where am I supposed to go? I said, hang on. I looked up, I said, what's your address? I looked it up. I said, here's where you go. It's at the school in Robbins. And she's like, I'm not going to Robbins to vote. Okay, I can't force you to.
Well, she can do a mail-in vote, or she can vote early, right? So individuals like that who don't want to go to their polling place in Robbins, then they can vote early, and where they can go to any polling place, or they can do a mail-in ballot. So tell her, don't let that be her excuse for not voting. Vote during the early week or 13 days and go where she wants to go.
Yeah, the whole I didn't have time to go vote doesn't fly anymore because you got 2 weeks.
You got 2 weeks before the elections, and even with the 2 weeks, folks still don't go and vote. So I don't know if that's. I think that people who are going to go vote, they're going to go vote, and the ones who aren't going to go vote, they're going to find excuses. It's kind of like working out.
And then they still complain.
And they still complain.
They still criticize. They still complain about this and what. Their taxes are going up, or they're getting less resources, or what's ever going on. And did you vote? No, I'm not even registered. Well, then.
Well, you know what, and that's the issue, and that's where I was really going with everything that I was talking about today, is that it really isn't the politicians that are the problem. It's really the people who are going to vote, because until we realize that it's not just symbolic, right? You're not just going to the polls symbolically. You really have a duty to do your homework to make certain that you get representatives that represent us. If you just going there and you just checking off the box, no thank you, don't vote, right? You need to be much more deliberate, because it's the one area, the one thing that you can influence. The problem is it's just a symbolic action at this point. And I don't know if that's just a good thing. If you're only doing it because symbolically we should do this, for me, you're doing an injustice to all the people that are running for office and that are depending on the right candidate to be placed in those particular office. If you're just joining, welcome to Tea and Conversation. We are just shooting the breeze. You are here with me. This is my birthday. Guys, I have turned to 50, right? So call the police. I am 50 years of age. Sometimes that's tough to say. Well, not anymore. What's the alternative? I always tell people, they're like, oh, you're getting old. Well, what's the alternative? Like, what else can I do? Is there something I missed? Can I get young? What's the alternative to getting old? I think I like getting old. Okay.
Death.
What do you got to say? Oh, I mean, young woman. I mean, Miss Dawkins.
Death. Death is the alternative.
Yes.
And I don't have a problem with my age.
Good. Because if I recall, you're a little bit more younger than I am, and you shouldn't have a problem.
Yes, I've got you by a few months. I do. I don't have an issue with that.
Hey,
you can announce it to the public. That's okay.
I didn't announce anything. Listen. It's my birthday, and I can cry if I want. Okay?
I'm secure in all of my fabulousness.
Yes, you are. Okay. Mr. Decker, when is your birthday?
Did you say when is my birthday?
Yeah.
As in year, or it's January 31st?
January 3rd. Oh, you just said that. Man, you mess up somebody's Christmas after Christmas, building their reserves back up because now they got to buy you a gift. Okay? You know what I mean? I think people who have birthdays in December's and in January's need to be more considerate.
Mine's far enough away from Christmas. I never really got, some kids when they're young, their birthday's too close to Christmas, so they kind of get, well, we're going to pull a couple Christmas gifts aside and save them for his birthday. But
Michelle, what do you got to say, Michelle?
Pardon me?
Oh, I thought you were getting ready to say something because I said that people in December and January need to be more considerate with their birthdays.
Well, my birthday isn't in December or January, so I don't have a dog in that fight.
Okay, I just wanted to make certain. Okay. Again, if you're in the area, Grub Chug a Lug is open this Friday. So if you're looking for something to do, Chug-a-Loves will be finally open. They have a beautiful rooftop deck. They will be open on this Friday where you can go in there and you can bowl. It's miniature bowl, so the ball is really small. So you can't bring your own ball. And they have X throwing. You're gonna have to reserve the rooms, but I think it's gonna be good fun. The food is really, really good. I was one of the individuals that did the taste testing for a lot of those dishes, and I was impressed, and I thought that they did a good job. Lots of good flavors and blended together, and so I think you will enjoy the food. It's not just a burger joint, even though you see Chug a Lug. It's not just, and I know some people say, well, why did he name it Chug a Lug? I don't know.
Could we have a contest to have a different name, perhaps?
No, the only contest we're gonna have at Chug-a-Lugs, Miss Dawkins, is, you ready, Jason? Go, 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 go. Okay, no, that was
I'll be doing Pepsi or RC because I don't drink.
Okay, you may not want to do that, Jason.
I think it should be called Glenwood Gastropub. And I think it would make it clear that it's a drinking establishment for if that's what he intends. And it would make it clear that it has good food, if that's what you're saying he has. And you wouldn't look like a complete slouch leaving an establishment called Chug-a-Lug. And I don't know if it's suitable for family, but certainly I don't know if you'd want to bring children to a place called Chug-a-Lug. Is it suitable for family? Like, who's going to bring their kids to a place called Chug-a-Lug?
Just don't check in on Facebook with your kids.
Listen, I don't think that he asked us our opinion. Okay, he named it Chug-a-Lugs, and
I guess we give our opinions with our dollars.
But Miss Dawkins, okay, in fairness, now hold on, Decker, before you shake your head.
I'll be taking my dollars to Lassen's.
Okay, well, when is the last time you've been to Hooters?
I don't go to Hooters.
Is it because of the name?
Yes, that's part of it.
Okay. There are a lot of people that still go to
I wouldn't
Hooters.
take my child to a place called Hooters.
I assure you
are we starting this debate? Do you want to start this debate with me, Mr. Winston? I don't think you do.
Listen,
Are you coming for me with this? Because I
not.
got something for you with this.
I'm not coming for you.
Okay.
Okay, but I did watch
Because it's your
American Pie.
birthday.
I did watch American Pie, and I'm pretty certain that teenage boys want to go to Hooters.
I'm sure they do. Okay. I'm sure teenage boys want a lot of things. Okay. But we are parents.
Yes.
And we are to teach them values and whatnot.
So okay, and I'm not gonna spend too much time. Am I an irresponsible parent if I took my kids to Hooters?
I'm not going to label you or your parenting on your podcast.
Jason,
okay?
help me here. Am I irresponsible for taking my kids to get some delicious?
Or talk about your potential misogyny or anything like that. Taking your children to a place.
Well, this sounds very misandrist.
Taking your children to a place that is called Hooters
it's called misandria. It's when a woman is being.
Well, you interrupted me because I'm still talking.
Oh, I thought you were woman-splaining.
Well, someone needs to be explained too, apparently, Mr. Winston.
If you're just joining, I am having some fun right here. It is my birthday, and I can, like I said, cry if I want to. But I am not going to cry. Okay, I am going to enjoy the rest of my evening. It is now 8:01. Next week we do have some business on the agenda. I don't want to, but I think I have a special guest who is going to be on here next week. But this week we are going to go out. Jason, we're just going to start with you. Michelle, I need you to be the backup singer. Ms. Dawkins, you can chime in. Tim, just give them a little bass when y'all start singing the happy birthday song.
Hang on 1 second.
Ready? Is everybody ready?
Hang on, I got two more that are going to join in.
Okay.
Ready? We're going to sing happy birthday to Adam. It's his birthday. Okay? Stand up. Ready? Happy birthday.
Happy old day.
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adam.
Oh my God, he just broke the microphone. That is what I'm talking about. Thank you guys very much for the birthday celebrations. If you have time Wednesday, we are going to be doing the flat tax. I do not have that link in front of me. So please join us on Wednesday at 7 o'clock for the flat tax session. Trustee Match will be joining us from a far, far land talking about flat tax. And subject matter attorney Reed and I will be here in the wonderful Chicago area talking about the flat tax. So I hope that you can join us. Until then, Mr. Decker, any last moments, any last comments?
Decker in November. Don't forget my name.
Decker in November. Michelle, Dawkins, Tim, have a good night.